But yeah, Mario gets a little spacesuit. Where was this in Mario Galaxy?
It's adorable.
He doesn't get a spacesuit. He's just like, whee! It's just like, Mario, you defy all logic.
He has the Jimmy Neutron philosophy of space.
Yep. Alright, we're back with some more of Super Mario Land 2. 6 golden coins. We have 2 zones left. Oh, hello, Mr. Turtle. Ah!
Why are there so many freaking turtles in my brain right now?
I mean, Mario is all about the turtles, the Koopas.
I know, but it's like, so we played Mario, had the turtles, and then I saw the comedian guy with the turtles, and then in my food safety course, there was about touching tiny turtles.
Touching tiny turtles, yep.
But while we were doing our sound test, I had my make-believe All Might voice.
Yeah. I am here!
I am here! Even though I sounded like Invader Zim. But I saw a meme, and it was a My Hero, like, meme, and it had a bunch of different characters, and it said, you have 3 bullets, who are you gonna kill? And my immediate reaction, so they had the one with, like, the grapes, the bubbles on his head, and I was like, I'd shoot him 3 times, like, and... and I just really wanted to share that.
Shoot 5 more times to be perfectly sure.
I hate him so much.
Apparently, he changes a lot in this latest season. Because, like, there's memes about it. It's just like, this boy really went through a character development.
Oh, that's good.
So it's just like, alrighty.
What platform were we watching My Hero? Is it on Netflix?
I want to say it was Crunchyroll.
I've never had a Crunchyroll.
Oh, then the other one.
Funimation.
Funimation, that's it.
I could have swore it was on another platform.
I think we started it on Netflix, but like Netflix took a while to like catch up to Funimation. Like I think Netflix only had like the first 2 seasons. And it was just like, oh wow, Funimation has all the seasons.
Yeah.
And now at the time of this recording, I think they have like 1 or 2 new seasons that came out recently.
I thought we were up to date.
I thought we were too, but no. Apparently, like, the one, like, recently dropped.
Okay.
She ponders. Yeah, got it. Got me a fire flower. That's a little redundant. I already got one.
Well, here's another.
He powers up into the same thing, and he was just like, well, that was trippy. Alright, let's explore this, abandoned sub. Not sure why it's crashed down here. Maybe it went to see the Titanic.
Oh my god.
Too soon?
There are so many things, and I feel like a bad person because I can't help that I would feel worse if they weren't all, like, multi-billionaires, you know, that went down there.
I think the worst thing is the controller survived.
Yes! That's, like, there were images because they, like, sent drones down to see if anything could be recovered, and they found fucking pictures of the video game controller on the seafloor, and I'm like, of all the things to survive.
Microsoft is like, yep, that's a damn good controller we made. Way to go, gentlemen. Way to go.
Oh my god. And they're like, they're simulations, I believe, of like what it would have looked like when they imploded.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's like, I mean, thankfully it appears as though it would have been very quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
Implosion
they wouldn't,
is just like,
they wouldn't
bam.
have known what
like
was going on or what happening. But like my biggest qualm is like you guys have so much money combined that like you could pay the amount needed to go in a sub down to see the Titanic. Why couldn't they make a better sub?
I don't know if it was like greed, ego, combination of both.
I'm just like, really? Like, it was like, what, $250,000 per ticket?
Yeah.
And you used a gaming controller?
Well, like, James Cameron is mad for like multiple reasons, but he's also a little mad at himself because originally he was just like, I wouldn't. And then they went and did it, and now they're gone, and he's just like, I should have been more involved. Like, not in the expedition, but be like, no, don't do this because of X, Y, and Z.
Right. And I mean, like, he would technically have the right to have done that because he's been down there so many times.
Exactly. Numerous times. He knows the history. He respects nature.
Yeah.
He respects nature a little, I wouldn't say too much, but like it's very ham-fisted in the Avatar movies. Like that's the whole point. Save our planet.
Yeah.
The first movie is about save our forests. The second movie is about save our oceans.
See, I don't, because I feel very passionate about nature and saving the planet, but I just can't get on the bandwagon of like making everybody else follow the way that I believe. Like, do I think people should recycle and should be more cautious of their use and things? Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Do I understand that sometimes that is not an option? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Not everybody can have a compost.
Well, no, everybody can have a compost. It's as easy as just throwing your shit in a pile outside. Not your actual shit, but like your food scraps.
Okay. But then what would you say?
But what I
would
mean
be an
is
example
like,
of you understand how not everyone can.
So not every packaging is recyclable.
Right.
So there are certain like types of plastic and things that are recyclable. All things can be packaged in recyclable plastics and containers, but they're more expensive. So not everybody can afford to buy that kind of stuff.
It's the electric car argument.
Yeah.
Sure,
like
my gas car is killing the planet, but the electric car is killing my wallet.
And not only that, people are like, oh, the electric car. And I'm like, yeah, it would make sense if we were in like renewable energy. So it's not like you're a better person for having an electric car versus a gas car, because either way you're using fossil fuels.
Right.
Like, it's just one makes you feel better right now. And it's like, okay, cool, but until we find a way to store renewable energy, like, you're still using coal.
Okay.
To make electricity to charge your car.
So, is it the preachiness that turns you away from the Avatar movies? What is it about the Avatar movies that makes you like,
that,
meh?
I don't know. I haven't seen the second one. What turned me away from the first movie was that he is in a wheelchair. He's disabled.
Yes.
And they give him an avatar that makes him able to function.
Yeah.
And walk. And I'm like, hey, that's great. But then it's almost like saying that he's not good enough because he's in a wheelchair. Or that he's broken.
I suppose.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. My thought process and mentality has changed a lot since then.
But keep in mind the people like with the Avatar program, like, they're the bad guys. So, like, they would think that way. It's like, here, let's take this shell of a person and make them our super soldier for this experiment. Yeah. Because they're trying to gather unobtainium from this enchanted forest.
Well, again...
Or whatever. I don't know. I intermix the plots of that and Fern Gully a lot. I know Fern Gully's the one with Tim Curry.
Yeah. I saw it when it first came out, and I've never seen it since. So my thought process and my...
I saw it twice.
Idealism has shifted a lot since I've watched it. So, I don't know. If I rewatched it, I might like it. I just remember watching it the first time, I was like, no.
And that's fair. I mean, I enjoyed it the first time I watched it because of the IMAX experience.
Right.
Then I watched it on Blu-ray, and I was just like, this is fine. It kind of lost some of that bazing. That's kind of what I mean when I see movies and I'm just like, is it made for the big screen or can I wait?
Right.
Like, there's some movies that like are an experience when you see in the theater. And then there's others where it's just like makes no difference whether you watch it on streaming or in the theater. Like, as fun of a time as it was watching Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, it wasn't made for the big screen.
Yeah,
I would have just as enjoyable of a time sitting around the campfire watching it on a projector or whatever. Yeah. What have you. But Avatar is definitely something that's like made for the big screen.
Yeah.
And now that I've missed the second, I'm just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
I don't really care right now.
I don't know. I think it might also just be the hype. Like, I really hate that my brain thinks like a hipster, but I'm like, oh, if it's super popular like that, like, I don't really care to see it.
Oh, wow. I can be like that with some things, I'm not gonna lie. It's just like, that's a little too popular. Maybe when everyone calms the hell down, I'll check it out.
Yeah. And it's never like... I don't want to say never.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually not like, oh, well, if everybody's doing it, like, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, most of the time, it doesn't live up to the hype. So it's like, you get super excited because everyone loves it, and then you experience it, and you're like, wow, I thought that was going to be a lot better.
Oh, that was me with Force Awakens. Everyone was just like, Star Wars is back. I'm like, is it though?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this what it means for like this beloved series to come back?
Yeah.
And it's aged like milk.
Because honestly, like, I've only ever experienced, I believe, like, one time having, like, something that was super hyped up and super popularized and everybody's talking about it. And then I read it and I was like, wow, this really did deserve the hype. Like, it lived up to every expectation. And that was the book, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Okay.
It, you know, maybe not publicized in the grander scheme of things, but for book lovers, like...
And broke the boss.
You couldn't go on to, like, Book Talk or any type of book forum without seeing, like, you have to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. You have to read it. It's so good. And I did not want to read it for that reason. I was like, no, I'm not going to. And then
you read it and you're like, son of a bitch, it's great.
Well, actually, I read a different book by the same author, and I was like, this book is phenomenal. Like, I absolutely loved how she wrote all of the characters. And then I was like, fuck. So I read the book, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. Everybody has to read it.
All right. So this is the sacred hippo. You have to ride the bubble. And basically how you control this is you rock the control pad back and forth while you tap the A button.
Okay.
And allows you to float. Because we gotta get high up there. There's 2 exits. There's a lower exit, which just loops the level. And there's a higher exit, a secret exit, which unlocks the final zone. And that's the key. That's the ticket. Up. And if it pops, you can just grab another one.
From the hippo.
Uh-huh. From the enchanted hippo. Now you can't get... Oh, there we go. I jumped on him, so that counts. If you get hit, it pops the balloon.
The bubble?
Pops the bubble. Pop the bubble. Pop the bubble.
Whoa, SpongeBob, things are getting a little weird around here.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my leave. There it is.
Nice.
Alright, and our final zone is... Gotta get the minigame first. Oh, aw. Wah, wah. Just a regular mushroom. Space zone.
Aww.
Alright, we're going to outer space. But yeah, we have moon physics. So it's all about holding in the button.
I would be
hold
terrible.
in the jump button. But yeah, Mario gets a little spacesuit. Where was this in Mario Galaxy?
It's adorable.
He doesn't get a spacesuit, he's just like, whee! It's just like, Mario, you defy all logic.
He has the Jimmy Neutron philosophy of space.
Yep. Did they ever explain how he can breathe in space?
So I remember there's an episode, I think it's like the first time everyone goes into space, and I think it was like Carl was like, how can we breathe in space? And it's like, Jimmy is like, well, Carl, let me tell you. And then they go through like some sort of asteroid like shower or something. There's a lot of noise and light.
Okay.
And then he's like, and that's how we can breathe in space.
I thought you were going to say they go through an ass pull.
No.
As in they just pull something out their ass.
No.
And it's just like, this is what we do.
No, so like you never actually hear the reasoning of why they can breathe in space, but it was
that's
like
the joke.
They explained it, but we didn't get to hear.
Okay.
So
I thought he was explaining like the asteroids do this and that's why we can breathe in space. I'm like, sounds
no,
like an ass pull.
I don't remember if it was an asteroid shower or something happens that you can't hear.
Yeah.
But
it's
like
similar to that joke where you're like, he said, and like a train goes by. Yep.
But you see them like explaining.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually kind of clever.
Jimmy Neutron, I feel like, was before its time.
It was one of the earliest like CG shows that like kept going on.
Because I remember I didn't like it at first because I thought it looked weird. But then like the more I watched it, the more I liked it.
I really enjoyed the movie. and I was very underwhelmed by the start of the series because you go from like kidnapped parents to like your pants are possessed or something like that, and I was just like, well. But as it went on, everything really started to grow on me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, very cool. I mean, come on.
And
the first
Hugh,
movie had Patrick
like,
Stewart. And yes, Hugh is an energy.
He is so fun.
If I were a dad, I'd be Hugh. I'd go for Hugh.
But like his parents in general, I love their dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
I also really enjoyed that like they were still parents.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was before the time of like, I'm not your mom, I'm your best friend, girl. I'm just like, okay.
We've said this before, looking back, Jimmy had the better parents compared to Dexter.
Oh, yeah.
Dexter's parents were kind of oddly oblivious.
Yeah.
And also oddly strict. About some things.
I mean, like, the big thing I enjoyed about, like, Dexter's parents was their backstory of how, like, she's a germaphobe, which is why she always wears her gloves.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But, like, he was a big slob.
Yep. Oh, again, both still great shows, but,
I don't know, like, Dexter got a little annoying.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at. It's just, like, Dexter, it
like,
has its
still
moments.
Really funny in certain places and witty and clever, but like I don't know, it got egregious.
But I prefer Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Whereas when they started, I was just like,
this isn't Dexter.
Yeah, this isn't Dexter. All right, let's see if we can actually get nothing. Nice.
Son of a bitch, just like a real game.
Mario was just like, well, shit. All right, so now we have this.
Look how angry that star.
Yeah, don't touch them. Don't touch the angry stars. So this one kind of has like swimming mechanics. You could kind of like just swim through space, and as you tap, you just float through, and you gotta avoid
the angry stars.
All the angry stars, yeah.
The stars when you're successful, but
level.
You're angry about it. Those are all the people that like shot for the moon and landed among the stars.
And now they're upset because they have nowhere else to go.
Well, no, because they didn't make it to the moon.
Oh.
And it's like whenever like a little kid fails at something, it's like, well, just shoot for the moon, and even if you fail, you'll land among the stars. And then you turn into an angry star in Mario.
This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. It's very pleasant to hear. I know you're not too fond of like the twang. Like the tinginess of these Game Boy songs.
It's not even that I'm not necessarily fond of it. It
just hurts. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah. But there's channels like Noble Demon and others that kind of like remix it to make it either orchestral or more pleasant.
Yeah.
To give you the idea of like, hey, if this wasn't using tingy instruments, this is what it would sound like.
Right.
So I'll probably look that up to play the song so you can enjoy it too.
Yay. It's very unusual. Like, I know not every single person who's lost hearing experiences this. I think it's because I lost my hearing due to an accident. Mm-hmm. So it was damage.
Yep.
Not necessarily any type of, like, disease or anything like that. But the loud, tingy pitches hurt my deaf ear.
Okay.
It's not even, like, my hearing ear that hurts. It's the deaf ear. One.
Okay.
Where it's, like... It almost, like, vibrates the inside of my ear.
Okay.
So, and it's just very uncomfortable.
Whoa, this is the tricky part.
Like, my ear is trying to hear it, but can't.
Okay. Alright. So, our boss is actually the main villain of Super Mario Land 1. And this is just a random alien called Tatanga. Huh. Yeah, he was the main bad guy from Mario Land 1. And he's in Mario Land 2, and they tried to make him a thing, and Miyamoto was just like, we have Bowser.
Yeah, they're like, nah.
Because it's interesting, when Mario Galaxy was first announced, it's like, people were just like, oh, are we going to see a return of Tatanga? Nah. Tatanga is an obscure villain that you will never see again.
Aww.
He has potential. I mean, he's technically a Mario character that can be used.
Yeah.
They just choose not to. Like, at least Wario goes on to his own series.
Right.
Tatanga just fades into obscurity.
Fades into the distance.
There he goes. Goodbye, Tatanga. We will never see you again. Save for fan games.
That aren't allowed to exist
That
anymore.
aren't allowed to exist. There's one called, like, Super Mario and, like, the Pearls of Wisdom or something. And it's pretty impressive. Like, they have Tatanga back as the main villain. And it's really cool what they do with it.
Huh.
I don't know if it's still around. Nintendo probably said, like...
Yeah, they were probably like, excuse us.
But from what I recall...
You can remake this in Mario Maker.
It was really cool. But Tatanga's not in Mario Maker. You can remake it in Mario Maker. That's the thing, though. Like, why wouldn't he be in Mario Maker? Maybe we'll find out in the next episode. The finale. See you